So disconnect the red and blue. Those go into these. Just disconnect them and you'll pull them through. This plate on this other one was a 10 millimeter. I took that off and I took the anodes off everything. Next, I'm gonna pitch this ring out, back this all the way out, let it drain. It's currently resting on the stand right there. I'm gonna let this drain and I'm gonna start taking these out. So I had it propped on the wrong one. I had it here, it needs to go up here so that I can get to that, which sucked. I still don't have it out yet. But I used a hammer and I saw a guy use one of these and he just kind of finagled it out. A lot of PB blaster on this thing, so I'm still working on it. I'm gonna do the same thing over there, but not sure if you can see this, but there is a huge hole right there, right below where my panel popper is. Right there's a hole and the wire is almost completely severed there, and that's what's causing the issue. I had to hold this down with pliers when my wife was on the other side working the button so I could lift this up. So that is definitely a problem. I gotta figure out how to fix that. Okay, so all I did was screw this in after I took the snap ring out. And then I saw this in another video. You just slide that out. It's coming out pretty easy. I'll do that to the other side with the sensor. And then we'll get after this wiring problem after I drop this unit. Right. Unscrew those two bolts out of there. Hit it with PB blaster. Just slowly pop it out. There we go. Pop this out. Now we gotta get that out. We'll do the same thing. Let's take that out. Remove this pin and slide that out. Okay, now that I've got these pins out, these were a little loose. Got that pin out up there. And I've pulled this through that hole right there. I fished it out so that when I drop this unit, it won't be dangling, but I'll loosen these up. There's 5 total. There's one back there, I took that out, and then there's another one right there. So I'm going to take all these out. Put them in a plastic baggie. So I keep them all together. What I used for those was a 5/16. If you can see it. 5/16 Allen head. I'll just start taking all these out. Then I'll drop this and I'll lower it. Notice this middle one. It's got a washer on it. The other ones did not. This is the only one with the washer. Alright, now they're all out. Now I'm going to tap it to get it loose. Try to get it out from underneath here. And then that should pull straight down. $14 millimeter train. at that. I need to do one of those. Split. Some of it's gelled up. That's not good. Definitely needs new fluid. So, revisiting the problem. So this wire is frayed right there. You can see how all the movement as the motor went up and down eventually wore this out. And it was working really slowly and then intermittently. So somehow I need to see if I can repair this rather than replace the entire motor, because online you have to replace everything from here down, not this canister but what's inside of it. You know, that doesn't make any sense if it's an issue with the wire being frayed, but what I'm going to try to do is remove this out, and then there's a guy who says you can unscrew this black piping and pop this out and then repair the wire. So we're going to try that. So first we need to get this black clip right there that needs to come out. So let's try to pull that out with some needle nose. Right there. You can see it. That's going to go in my Ziploc bag here. All right. And let's see if we can pull this out. This whole silver piece is turning and I'm trying to slide it up off the motor. There we go. That's it. Before it comes off, look down in there and you'll see how those tabs line up. The pin holds them together. When you pop it out, you can turn it so it'll slide right out. So let's go ahead and take all of this out. don't need it to come all the way off. Just enough to expose the wire. Oh my goodness, look how messy and bad this fluid was. Look at that. It's just clumps. And that's what your motor looks like. So what I have ordered is there's a ring that seats right in there. This is red ring. Looks like this. So I ordered one off eBay, I think. Alright. So what I've done was I've taken some pliers and I gripped around here to turn it, which it is turning now, but I guess I should have used like a rag or something to protect that, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to be looking at that, but I'm going to twist that off and see if I can slide that up and over. I may have to cut this sleeve off so that this will ride over it, because I need to repair a section of wire from here to probably about right here. I got to figure out what that's going to look like on the inside. So I'm going to take this off and see if I can slide it off. Okay, so we know this is starting to twist off. So before I twist any further, I'm going to attempt to pick this out so the wire inside can be free of being twisted while I turn this metal rod. So I'll use these tools, maybe a screwdriver, jeweler's flat tip to get up underneath here and pop that off. So it is coming out by picking it out. I'm having to pick a lot of this out and grabbing the rest with some pliers so that I can dig it all out. We're going to see what that looks like in there. So I can't do this with one hand, so I'll come back to it. There we go. Got most of it out. It's like a little plug that the wires pass through. I'm just going to rip it off and then start twisting this thing. Then hopefully I can get to it to repair those wires. So I was able to get the glue out of the top of that little plug and twist this until it came out. Then I had to take those two bolts out of there so I can pop this off. Obviously that's a magnet, but these are soldered on. I am trying to figure out how to get this black pipe to slide off, but I see a little flat spot right there, so I'm going to hit it with some PB Blaster and see if this is what's preventing the wires from sliding through. And then, you know, I got nothing to lose. I either try this or I get a new motor. Either way, it's a new motor if I mess this up. So I'm going to try to take this top half off, separate this from this. So we'll use a new one. It only goes in one way. This end won't work. It's got to be this end. Goes on. And it comes with 2 new bolts. Let's go ahead and bolt the new one on. But we need to get the key lined up. There we go. Got the key lined up. Let's get the new bolts in here. See that key down there? That's the way it's supposed to fit. I'll just bolt the rest of these down. And then I'll slide the O-ring on it here in just a minute. That's that red O-ring that's going to go there. Looks like this. Goes right there. Alright, let's take this O-ring off. Old. New. Came with the kit.
Hey, Molly, come on. You come with. Don't you start.
slide that pin under there. This whole thing needs to snap back down, rotate it so that the pinholes line up. That way this can't rotate anymore. Make sure that's fully seated at the bottom. cap first, then the plug, then it goes through those holes. I'm going to take the top cover off and pull it through there. Alright, so this is the cap or the screw. This broke. Went to a hydraulic shop to get that fitted, and I hope that it is the right part. I asked them if they had a green one. They said nope. So we're gonna roll with what we have, screw it back in here, fill up the unit, and see what we got. Switch the end. Put the ring back on. With this guy. The trick is to not let this go flying. Nope. Just come out a little bit. Right there. I think that's it. That's it. Already snapped. That's it right there. Alright, this is tight. Now, let's get some fluid into this. We'll pump some fluid into this neck, but first, let's see this water. We want to make sure now I'm going to connect these to these. I'm going to turn the battery on. So basically connecting the green to green, blue to blue. And then I'm going to work, before I connect these, I'm going to work these up and down. So let me see if I can get that. Yeah. Love you, babe. here. Not sure how much I need to put in here. Needs to go in this thing. Kit came with 2 new pins. Let's clean it up. Plenty of grease on it. Install it in on one side. Yep, that's good.
Let's go ahead and move this pin up. Oh, wait. I cannot forget this on the other end.
Turn that so the pin lines up.
Get the new pin.
Also, this will loosen it. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if we just